first television station. Now, WMAR 2 News at 7.
Welcome into WMAR 2 News at 7. I'm Jeff Morgan here with meteorologist Abigail Degler. Abigail, a lot happening right now as we're dealing with cleanup in the metro, but it seems like the metro's out of the woods with rain. What are we dealing with? Who's getting the brunt of it right now?
Right now, we're looking towards the eastern shore, and they're dealing with those destructive tagged severe warned storms. And a little further to the south and over that state line in Delaware, they're also dealing with a tornado warning. So our friends, family, those in Ocean City, we do have a strong line of storms heading towards that area. And we do see this camera here. It's quite busy. I don't know if these people know that there are storms starting to head in. Hopefully this will start to clear here in the next few minutes or so.
Yeah, we heard from Kelly Swoop, who was out at Pimlico as they're doing the Black Eyed Susan races, and it got on her quick, and you have to worry that the people who are out here enjoying the boardwalk, not as quick to get to safety if you're there with these line of storms coming in. A potential concern, and we've already seen tornado warnings with this storm.
Yes, we've had 2 tornado warnings to the southwest of the metro and to the southeast of the metro. We saw it in Dundalk. These were radar indicated, but they were at the 6 o'clock hour. We had one that was allowed to expire at 6:15 and the other one closer towards 6:30. Our eyes are still to the eastern shore right now, and once again, these are the destructive tagged severe warned storms, and this includes Denton, Easton, Centerville, and quite a few highways. Even with this, we don't see a tornado warning, but this is still a possibly dangerous cluster of storms. We have a lot of lightning associated with it. When we see this destructive tag, we can see gusts upwards of 80 miles per hour. Baseball, potentially sized hail, although we haven't had reports of it, it can get that large because these storms are strong enough. They have that much of an updraft to where the formation of these large hail can form. And further to the south here, you can see across that Delaware state line, we do have that tornado warning. Now, this is out of our viewing area, but I just want to talk to you about it briefly because we have friends and family in that area. And so if anybody is in Seaford or Georgetown here along Highway, I believe, 13 or close to, sorry, small print here, or Federalsburg or a little further to the south, make sure they are getting warnings. So you're texting them, calling them, making sure they're okay. A little further to the north, once again, this is the eastern shore. These are our severe warned storms still in our viewing area, and this has been reduced slightly since it was first issued earlier in the 6 o'clock hour, and now as we're in the 7 o'clock hour, it still lives on, but only about for 15 more minutes. We'll continue to talk about this. It does have the history of destruction. We've had quite a few power outages across the state. We saw around 52,000 power outages across the Baltimore Metro and surrounding areas. In the Baltimore Metro earlier in the 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock hours, we've gotten reports from trees down, power lines down. And as we talk about this system starting to exit towards Delaware, once again, we're not out of the woods just yet. Baltimore is, but further to the east, we are still dealing with a strong line of storms pushing through. We see Easton here on our MoDOT camera and quite a bit of kickback with those cars pushing through. If you're in this area, it does look like the rain and winds are still strong, and we're still getting reports in from the 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock hours. I'm anxious to see what these storms produce on the eastern shoreline, and this does include Kent, Caroline, Queen Anne's counties as it pushes further to the east. We will be talking about the rest of your Friday, but also into your Saturday. We have Pimlico and the races Saturday as well. And if we can take full graphic here, we're going to break down the forecast. But once again, this is due until around 7:15 this evening. So we have a little while longer with these severe warned storms on our eastern shoreline. And we do have that tornado warning across that state line and further to the south near Federalsburg. Still being warned at this time. Once again, out of our viewing area, but still something to mention because we have loved ones across state lines. I also want to mention this power outage map here. The darker the colors, the more power outages we are seeing. And you can see the Towson area, Baltimore, the county, and including the city proper. We've had quite a bit of reports of power being out. So if you have a way to keep privy to radar and the forecast tonight, we have an app that you can download. You can get information there. We have seen this severe thunderstorm watch reduce to the eastern shoreline from Cecil County down, and that's where we still have those active severe warned storms once again until around 7:15. And with that, our primary concern will be hail and wind damage. I do want to take you through Futurecast here and talk a little bit about what is to come for the rest of our Friday evening rolling into our Saturday. Once again, we are still talking about events across the area. Pimlico was moved towards a safer area. Kelly has returned from there, but we still have plans for Saturday. So as we go into the 10 o'clock hour of your Friday, we're still seeing the potential of some spotty showers and storms pushing through. Although our environment isn't as ripe as it was at the beginning of the 5 o'clock hour, we still carry that potential as we head into the evening. Our next batch will push through in the overnight hours around 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock a.m. for Saturday. And then as we go into the 7 o'clock hour in the morning, we're still seeing some lingering showers. It doesn't look like a whole lot of thunderstorm potential at this point. But for those of us who are not dealing with the rain, heavy clouds and the possibility of fog will carry over into the overnight and morning hours. So if you are planning to drive, be wary of ponding and pooling on those roadways. Make sure you turn around and go a different route that is a safer route. And you're also going to notice quite a bit of humidity as we go throughout the day Saturday as well. Eventually, we will have a cold front sweep through, and then we'll add a little bit of relief to our overall forecast and feel. Before we get to that, we're looking at close to 90 degrees, if not at 90 degrees as we go into your Saturday afternoon. So we carry a thunderstorm potential mostly across the eastern shoreline as we go into our Saturday, mostly towards the evening as that frontal system pushes through. But in the meantime, if you are heading towards Pimlico and planning to be there during peak heating hours in the afternoon, I also want to talk about heat warnings. So we're going to be at 90 degrees or near it throughout the afternoon hours. With humidity at dew points close to the actual temperature, it's going to feel even hotter. So even though we're still technically in the spring months, this could pose some hazards for those sensitive groups. Make sure you are staying hydrated, make sure you are protecting your skin, and taking frequent breaks. When we talk about heat like this, it is also impartial that you know that it's a compound injury. You need to know that, sorry, they're talking in my ear, that with a compound injury, you need a long time for your body to recover from the heat. I also want to mention here, and this is what they're talking in my ear about, this camera at Salisbury, US 13, and you can see quite a bit of lightning, quite a bit of rain associated with this. There is a storm pushing through this region, and it will go through Salisbury before it heads to Ocean City. And this is part of that long line of storms we saw in the very beginning there, and that will continue to push to the east. And we'll circle back to radar here in just a second. But I do want to talk about Pimlico and tomorrow briefly before we circle back to radar. We do carry this marginal or 1 out of 5 chance for severe thunderstorm potential as we roll into our Saturday, but it's looking very reserved to the eastern shoreline and the southeast. We're going to circle back now to radar if Chris here is helping me out. We're going to talk about these storms. I think this has been reduced. I don't think Talbot County is,
yeah, it tripped down to 1 morning.
or Kent.
They were overlapped before, so we're down to 1 now.
Okay, okay. Thank you. We have Queen Anne still until 7:15. This is the destructive tag that we've talked about throughout the evening. We saw the first one in the 5 o'clock hour, and that was towards the northern tier of Baltimore County. With that, we had reports of trees down, quite a bit of rain, even flooding towards the Harbor Tunnel. And so I mentioned that just to give you a little overview of what is in the eastern shore right now, and I'm going to turn to Chris here just for a second.
Hey, Abigail, yeah, I just wanted to add a couple of things we're kind of gathering off camera here. I know a lot of people are walking downtown Baltimore right now and are just seeing widespread damage. We did have a tornado warning there. What typically happens next is that the National Weather Service is going to have to send out a team to survey the damage to figure out, was it straight line wind or was it tornado? Either way, it was a ton of destruction. So this is that same system that's now moved over the bay and working its way to the eastern shore. We have a live view here. This is from our news wrangler, headed out to a lot of reports of damage. I'm almost sure this is Linnea Hoover. Say that one more time.